I only have one child, and she just finished graduate school and started working. So she's 23 years old. But she has always been involved in business in some way because her parents were in business. So she learned a lot of practical things, just the fact that you have to be on time and the fact that you have to make a profit when you sell something. So it's small things like that that she learned as a kid. And she's an accountant. She's an accountant with PricewaterhouseCoopers now for her full-time job. But she was introduced to business at a very young age. And my dad, who was a pastor, but he also had businesses. So I was introduced to it at a young age. And that really makes an impression on a child. But I wanted children to be able to read about other kids that they could identify with and to learn about different things they could do to earn money that don't require an upfront investment. They don't require a lot of time, but they can earn money and they can work with other people. They can work with other people to earn money. And so that was how the concept came about. And each installment covers a different aspect of doing business or a different business idea. So in the first book, they recycle to earn money. In the second book, they wash cars to earn money. And in the third book, they get together and they decide what are going to be the rules that we operate our business from. How are we going to decide which projects we're going to do? And that's what, when you're in business with other people, that's what you have to do. You have to sit down and discuss what are going to be your policies and your business practices. So it's for children 5 to 8 years old, and a new installment will be introduced every quarter throughout 2020 and 2021. So then by the end of 2021, I expect to have 12.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, so, as we talk about what you've been saying is really important to me, the fact that, your father had a business and your daughter just watching you guys was able to pick up on a lot of stuff. So it seems like for us as parents, that makes the books make that much more sense to me. We just need to get started really early in teaching them about business. But not just that, we need to educate ourselves about business and start businesses ourselves, and that'll be real inspirational to our children. Now, what do you think? Why do you think, I know you spoke to it a little bit, but why do you think teaching our children about economics and business ownership, just for everybody in Black society, why do you think that's so important?
That is an area that where we fall short. We don't understand as a group, and there are individuals who do, but we don't understand economics as much as we should. And because of that, sometimes we make poor financial decisions. There's one of my most successful book is about going to college debt-free and financing it with scholarships. And that's what my daughter did for undergraduate. She had zero debt going to an out-of-state college. But the student loan debt, for example, is at a crisis level. And for Black people, it's worse than it is for anybody else. And a lot of that, the reason for that is because we don't understand money. I mean, for example, if you borrow for school, this is just a very small example. If you borrow $50,000 for your undergraduate degree, total over a 4-year period, you will probably never pay it back because the compound interest will be so burdensome that the principal never goes down. And what I mean by that is that because the interest continues to grow, as long as the loan is not paid off, and the original amount is so high that even if the interest rate is somewhat low, it still continues to add on and add on. That at the end of, if you do ever pay it off, you're going to have paid back 3 times that amount. It's not 50 that you'll end up paying back. It's 150. And that's why it takes so long to pay it back if you ever get to pay back. It now takes 20, 30 years. I mean, that's basically your working lifetime almost to pay back these student loans. And a lot of people never pay them off. You're not able to uh, eliminate them even in bankruptcy. That's the only debt that bankruptcy will not eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you declare bankruptcy, you still have the student loans out there. And a lot of people who become senior citizens and still owe money for student loans, their Social Security gets garnished.
Wow.
That debt, in fact, the biggest growth of student debt is in people over 60. And the reason for that is because, one, a lot of the people who are older, they never finish paying their undergraduate degree. Then they go to graduate school and borrow more money, so it gets added on. But it used to be that only the student borrowed money for school. But a few years ago, they maxed the amount that a student can borrow, and they created what's called a Parent Plus loan. And this is off topic, but it's about finances. Mm-hmm. They created the Parent Plus loan. And so now parents are borrowing again. They're borrowing for their children. So now 2 generations are going in debt for one person's degree.
Wow.
So if your kids haven't reached the age of college, when you get there and they give you your financial aid package and they tell you, okay, this is the scholarship money, the grant money, the loan money. The money for loans is separated into two amounts, one for the student, one for the Parent Plus. And so parents are going back into debt to pay their children's college. And so they'll never pay it off. And the parents are in their 50s or late 40s or 60s, and they're borrowing again to get their children through school. It's really a crisis. So what our children need to, one, they need to learn there are ways to make money legitimately at a young age, where you can make legitimate money to help your financial situation. So you don't have to be looking for a hustle per se. You can legitimately do things to make money, and you don't have to always ask your parents for money. There are ways to make money, and they need to be doing things to engage their minds, to think about finances, and they need to learn about these things early on, so that when they if they decide to go to college, they'll understand borrowing and compound interest, and making the better decision about a career, and not borrowing a whole lot of money to get a degree in something where you're never going to make a decent living.
Right. And it's important that you say that, the legit part, because I remember growing up as a young man in like an urban community, most of the kids who were making money at an early age, most of the kids who figured out a way to make money at an early age, it was all based on doing something illegal, which, as we all know,